Taurus, hi, welcome to my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. I am Desi. I am so thrilled and honored to get to read your cards for you for February 2022. Taurus, crazy thing happened. I pulled these cards for you earlier in the day and did this whole reading and very painfully discovered that there was no audio, no usable audio. And I was heartbroken and crushed because I just know that the messages coming through felt incredibly important to me, really incredibly important for you to hear. So I hope you'll forgive me that you're missing my shuffle for this month, and trust that I'm using the same cards that I pulled earlier for you. We pulled the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Tower. You need to see, check them out. This is good for a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I encourage you to check out your other placements because you are so much more than your sun sign. You are a complex, beautiful puzzle. This is just one piece of that puzzle. What resonates is what is meant for you. What doesn't is meant for someone else, so don't take that personally because it isn't personal for you. And yeah, know that you are a part of this chosen collective. If you found your way here, you are part of this intended collective, and your guides had a role in this reading and had sway in this reading, in the pulling of these cards, of these messages. So on to this reading. Starting with the Eight of Pentacles. You guys, many of you are you are very committed to something. You're very committed and devoted to a certain path that you're on. You know, this path of apprenticeship towards mastery. You really are keeping your head down, focusing on the intended steps ahead of you. I'm hearing the word pipeline, like you really are, you know, almost like school. So maybe some of you are in school, but you're kind of on this pipeline towards the thing that you want or believe that you want. And it's rigid. There's a rigidness in that path, a devotion, a commitment in that path. That's neither bad nor good. It's just that it is what it is. The obstacle here, and this is an obstacle that is going to be different for many of you. So I'm going to just run through the different interpretations of this. For some of you, the obstacle is you have an emotional awareness, an emotional intelligence about what you're doing on this path that is incongruous with the path. It doesn't fit with the path that you're on. Maybe you're really committed to it. Maybe you are like, I am in this, I committed, and I'm doing it, and there's no question about it. But now you're feeling, you have some sort of EQ, like high EQ about what you're doing that doesn't sit well with you, or there's some kind of inner conflict it's causing. It feels in conflict with the path. It feels your feelings are in conflict with your progression along this path. And that is really hard because you already feel devoted to the path, but you're like, now I'm having these feelings and I'm having these like insights and awarenesses about this. For others of you, you're not really having like strong feelings that are coming through that are like, wow, I'm really having some, you know, intuitive insights here that are in conflict. Some of you, it's like you're lacking that. There's a block, and actually maybe this is maybe I'm saying the same thing here, but some of you feel very out of touch with what your emotional brain is telling you. Maybe your emotional brain is just your heart. But yeah, you feel very out of touch with that kind of emotional intelligence, that kind of awareness, like the wisdom of your feelings. You can't really hear that. It feels blocked. And so you're kind of just functioning like almost robotically, like along the path. Like, I'm doing this because I once decided to do it. I'm doing this because it's just the next intended steps. There's no decision for me to make. There's no other ways that I can go. And somehow maybe that absolution has numbed your feelings about it, or has made it very hard for you to get in touch with how you feel about it, because you feel like regardless of what your feelings are, you can't get off the train. Still more interpretations. For others of you, I'm hearing this is important. This isn't you who's bringing the emotional awareness or lack thereof to your path. It's someone else. So there's someone else that you see as now an obstacle in the way of your path. You see this person as someone who's like very wise, very emotionally aware, perceptive, and they're kind of making observations about you in your path that you're like, oh my God, what? That is kind of true. I feel really called out right now, and I feel really uncomfortable, and like, why are you passing this judgment on me? For others of you, this isn't someone who is emotionally aware. This is someone who's blocked emotionally. So they have a lot of emotional needs that aren't met, and which I think like is the kind of person that we classically call needy. No one is more needy than any other person. It's more so that there are people who know how to get their needs met, who maybe grew up in environments that taught them how to get their needs met and healthfully did meet their needs, and others where they didn't have their needs met and they had to learn really unhealthy coping mechanisms to try to get their needs met, or cope without their needs ever being met. And this could be someone, an obstacle in your path, who is like presenting as needy because they're trying to get you to meet some sort of emotional need for them. And it could be something that really isn't your job, but you care about this person, or you feel connected to this person, and there's something about what they need that feels in direct conflict with you and your path. It feels like it's pulling you off of that pipeline, that path that you're devoted to. So the craziest thing here is the advice, because this, for all of these options, whichever one was most resonant, the most resonant interpretation of that obstacle for you, the advice remains the same. The advice is, don't fight. Don't fight whatever that obstacle is. Rather, surrender to it. If it's another person, your job is not to push back. Your job is to allow yourself to be pulled. Follow that pull, lean into the pull. It could seem like you're being pulled off course. But this may be a situation where you learn that the course looks a little different than you thought it would look. This is about surrendering to wherever that obstacle is leading you, wherever that obstacle is directing you. You have feelings of doubt about that path. You have feelings that may feel dark about this thing that you've already committed to. Those feelings are coming up for a reason. It's important to explore them. You feel disconnected from your feelings about this path. Surrender to that. Surrender to the process of recovering those feelings. Try to explore, why do I feel numb about this? If it's like a kind of, if it's a feeling of being trapped or restricted in some way, like you've already made your bed, you're on this path, and that's that. So there's no use feeling anything about it. Challenge that. Challenge that belief. Get in touch with your emotional self. Really do some journaling, you know, work with a therapist, meditate, do some art. Sometimes things come up in your subconscious, you know, through the subconscious, through the process of creation that might help you discover some truths about how you really feel about something if you really don't know how you feel. If this is someone else, they're not there to be resisted. You know, I think that sometimes when another person is our obstacle, it's so easy to feel threatened by that person, to be like, they're the problem. I have to fight them. This person is not the problem. Whether they are an emotional tornado or they're this, like, you know, high EQ, nurturing influence in your life that's making you question the path or feel like you're being pulled off course in some way. Regardless of who this person is, there is a surrendering to them that needs to happen. Another way to think about surrendering is accepting, and accepting of the isness of your situation, the isness of your present moment, and seeing and really wondering, like, why is this happening? Like, how can this be happening for me? What gift can this be giving me right now? Is it helping me reevaluate something? Is it helping me recalibrate the direction of this pipeline I'm on? This surrendering, I just want to end with this surrendering, Taurus, may lead you to allowing certain things to fall away. So whether this Queen of Cups is you or this Queen of Cups is someone else in your life, maybe you feel particularly resistant to the Queen of Cups version of yourself or the Queen of Cups person because you think that they're bringing destruction with them. And we really are wired to resist destruction at all costs, even if it's destruction of something that we don't really even like or need. And this is a time where surrendering to that force, the obstacle, the force of this obstacle, the force of this Queen of Cups, may lead to the destruction of something that would help you by going away. It would actually make more space. It would actually clear your path forward. It would clear space in you to create something new, stronger, more powerful, better, more aligned with who you are right now, more aligned with the latest version of you, all the latest updates. So don't judge this prematurely. Don't judge your obstacle prematurely by thinking that it's going to destroy things that you love or that you need. Because if something is easy, if something falls away easily, if a tower crumbles when someone goes like this, that tower's not worth protecting. It's not worth saving. It's built on weak foundation. So if it can be destroyed at this point, that's very telling about where your values are and what is important to you. If it can be destroyed, maybe it needs to be destroyed. So surrender to the peace and knowing that. I hope this was clear, Taurus. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life. So feel free to comment below. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please consider doing so. If you want to support this work, if you want to make this work better, if you want to help me help you better with more readings, more in-depth readings, more exploration, more insight, more guidance, please, please, please consider becoming a patron of mine. You can do it through my Patreon, linked below. You can support me for just a few dollars a month. like the cost of a drink per month, and a little goes a long way. There's also a lot of bonuses and goodies there, including discounted personal monthly readings if that's something that interests you, so please check that out. Whatever you do, I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me in this space of vulnerability and self-reflection. It's good to be here with you. I'm rooting for you as always. I love you very much, Taurus, and I'll see you next time.